Can I have your attention? These beaches are officially closing for today. That means absolutely no more swimming.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Michael Kachmar. Welcome to Lifeguards Off Duty with Dr. Michael Kachmar. Today's date is November 21st, the year of our Lord 2023 AD. And we're back. We haven't been, I think it's been about maybe 3 months since we had a show. We've been pretty busy, and I got an injury. And so we're going to talk about that today. But anyway, thank you. Welcome back. We have Tyler. Tyler,
what's up, everybody? Good to be back.
And
we are back. We're supposed to be streaming on Instagram, but I don't know if it's working.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to check it out.
Trying some new things.
So anyway, this is we've had a really crazy summer lifeguarding. It was pretty wild. I mean, it started Memorial weekend with just ridiculous rescues. We were setting up Friday of that weekend, and we weren't even set up the stands, and we had like 4 or 5 rescues, pretty hairy ones, really far out there. Sean actually had a rescue. He took the rope out. I would say it was a good 100 yards, if not more. The water was kind of chilly also, and it never really mellowed out the whole summer. And then Labor Day was ridiculous. We had a huge crowd. It wasn't 4th of July crowd, but it was pretty damn close, and it was big ocean. I mean, it was 4 to 5 foot Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday it started building again, going more to maybe, so it was like 3 to 5, and then Monday night it went more like to 4 to 6, and then and it was a really hot, low tide. I don't know if it was full moon, and Tuesday, after Labor Day, they were just cranking on the sandbars, those waves. There was some good 7-footers, and these were hurricane waves that were just, just tons and tons of water coming down. So I'm actually just rehabbing a shoulder. I have a plate in my shoulder that has to come out next month. And how that happened was, I'm going to tell you the story.
The old man's finally starting to break down, huh?
Well,
I got to replace some parts.
Yeah. Well, what happened was, we were really short lifeguards. Everybody was going back to school. The lifeguards we did have were very young. And
I will say, though, because this summer, for the Heights, it seemed as though it was very transitional in terms of like the squad, that a lot of the older guys were leaving, a lot of new young guys coming in, like myself, people like Jesse, a lot of those guys that have been around for 7, 8, 9, 10 years kind of weren't as much this summer. Unfortunately, I was only able to work a handful of days this summer, but I heard a lot of good things about the young squad, and they really got a lot of action this summer to kind of learn how stuff's done.
Yeah, it's not just unique to us. I was just down in Fort Lauderdale, and I was talking to the lifeguards down there. There's the lieutenant, his name is Wolf, and I met a couple other officers, and there's a lot of old guys. I mean, that's what they got. There's young kids.
Oh, shit, sorry.
There's a lot of...
Well, at least we know we're streaming there.
What's that?
At least we know we're streaming there. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, sorry. We're what it is that it's getting more and more where we have kids who are under 18 working on a beach, and or very old, and I usually don't make a lot of rescues, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday I was in the water all day, and we just didn't have enough lifeguards, and we were red flag, and people say, well, why do you let anybody swim? Well, here's the thing. It's red flag. We were letting people go in to their ankles and their knees, and they weren't listening, and they were going in, and we were getting the police down there. People were getting ticketed. But, what do you do when you have these people who want to fight you and they refuse to get out? You're going to beat them up? You're going to shoot them? I mean, what do you do other than just close the beach down? And, we prefer not to do that. We want people to have a good time on the beach. It becomes a really issue, and it's becoming more of an issue because, what happens, we go down there and I tell the person, listen, sir, you can't go in, it's dangerous. And they curse me out, and they go in anyway. And okay, then we got to, they start drowning. We got to go get them. And it's become, and then a lot of people don't speak English. That's another whole thing. There's a huge amount of non-English speaking people this summer. In the past 2 years, I've seen a big increase. So there's a conflict, not a conflict, but a difficulty there. You tell these people don't go in the water, and they still go in. So anyway, so what happened?
Tell the people how you jacked your shoulder.
So let me tell you something. So happened. What happened was that we were. So I had a big rescue Sunday. So let me just preface this. So Sunday I had a big rescue, and a kid got sucked out, and his father went after him, and I went, and it was a good 25-yard swim. I mean, it was a good one, and I knew. And I got him. We got him in. So that Sunday night we stayed until 6, but the beach next to us left, and a kid drowned around 5:15. So that was Sunday. So that's how bad it was. So somebody did drown, and it was probably half a mile down the beach from us. The next day, unfortunately, they were trying to look for his body. So I was on the north end. Anyway, we were pulling people out all day, and at the end of the day, right around 4 o'clock. Now 5:30 was dead low, and the waves are starting to build. This is Monday night. I'm giving you this is Labor Day. Tons of people in the water, and I went down to one of these streets. It's called Hancock, and there was a bunch of people starting to go out, and we were pulling them in. So I said to this other lifeguard, Johnny Defoe, I said, "Come on, let's go out to the bar. Let's just get everybody in." So we went out there. We were telling people, "That's it. You got to come in. You got to come in." So you're on the bar, and these waves are coming in. They were pretty damn big. And so what I'm doing is I'm diving underneath the waves. And I got a can. I have my loose can with me. And I'm diving underneath, and Johnny's doing that. And then what happened was it just started running. So we both got kind of sucked out, And so we started. So now you're over your head. You're swimming. So I'm swimming in, and you know how you're swimming in and you look behind you trying to make sure there's no swell, Anyway, I came up onto the bar, and I don't think I realized it at that point. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened, but all I know is that I turn around, I look behind me as I'm swimming, I see this just freaking wall of water. Now I'm in the. Think about it, when you're swimming, you're in the water. Your face is you're at that. So a 6-foot wave is 6 foot. A
6-foot wave looks 10 feet.
And
that's the thing that people, I feel like, really easily forget is, when you're looking at a wave from the beach, mm-hmm. you're standing up. I'm 6 feet tall, so it's a 4 or 5 foot wave. When I'm standing on the beach, doesn't really look like that much. But when I'm just ahead in the water,
well, that's what.
It's a huge difference. Those are scary. Those can be really scary.
That's what my granddaughter, she goes, "Mike, it was only a 6-foot wave." So anyway, and a hurricane wave, so they're mm-hmm. really, they'll knock the shit out of you. I tell you, a 2-foot swell, when you go out, if the wave breaks on your back, it'll take the fins off you. They'll take your shorts off you. I mean, they're just that powerful. Anyway, what happens, I turn around, I see it. So what I usually do, I didn't have enough time to turn around and dive into it. I was committed already. And now again, I don't remember that how deep the water, did I realize how deep the water was. Anyway, I took the can off. I was taking the can off because, I don't want to get caught with that can because it could hit you in the head and all of that. And usually what I do, my technique, and everybody has a different technique, I take the can off and I hold on to the strap with my left hand, and I'll dive underneath, that way, and then let it break. And usually I could do pretty good, even if it's a big, I let it break past me and I pop out the end. Well, I was doing that maneuver and it just dumped on me. So what happened was it caught my left arm and grabbed the can and pulled me, and I went on my back, and at the same time, I my feet went over. I did a back roll, and when I did that, I felt it crack. I just went crack, like damn.
So what exactly?
Broke my collarbone. So your collarbone. So it goes from if you do your neck here to your shoulder. And it broke here. Now, it's it's probably one of the most common bones broken, a collarbone. Probably everybody in their life broke a collarbone. But this one was not only broke, but it was displaced, which means it moved. And it moved almost 3 centimeters, which is, it's out there. And what do you call it? It was pretty significant. And if you want, I'll show you a picture of it, So it was pretty significant. And So what happens is it had to be fixated with a plate. So I had to have surgery. I had to have emergency surgery actually, and the way the fracture is in the plate is made that it can't stay in. It has to be taken out. The manufacturer, has it in its manufacturing literature between 3 months and 6 months. It has to come out. So right now, like if I move the wrong way, it's just like like right there, I can feel it. It's it's been December 7th will be 3 months. So we have it scheduled to take it out. So I got to take it out. It has to be taken out. And so I was going to show you a picture of it, but so. I tell you what, it hurt, man. And the funny thing about it is when that happened, here, I'll show you a picture of it. I don't know if you could really see it here on the extra. So I'll give you I could plug the phone in, but I'll just show you here. Hang on a second. So can you see it?
Oh, yeah, that's brutal. Oh, my God.
And I'll show you the plate. You never saw these, did you? And so here's the plate. So this is an intraoperative x-ray. And there's the plate. All right. So, anyway, but what happened was I'm up in the headquarters. And I knew I just thought I dislocated my AC joint, you know, because it didn't hurt that bad. But right after I went up to headquarters, I said to the other lieutenant, I said, I'm going to go to the hospital. You know, and they asked me if I need. I said, I think I can drive. I'm all right. And so I took a shower. And I got dressed, and I was moving around, but it was really weird. It was moving, but I'm on the deck, and Troy was there, other lifeguards, and that same spot I just cleared, 10, 12 people got sucked out.
The sandbar broke, right?
I don't know if it broke, but these people weren't listening. So a huge rescue. So I ran down. We all ran down. I got a sling on now, and I'm like dragging the box with my right hand. I'm in the water again, feeding out the rope because we just didn't have enough lifeguards, you know. And we got everybody out, but it was interesting because one of the officers was bringing in people, and there was one more lifeguard out there with another victim. Excuse me. We only had 2 ropes, so people don't know we a lot of beaches don't use ropes, but our runs are so tough, and you can't get these people in fast without ropes. So we swim a loose can out, we grab the person, and then we swim a rope out with another can and a rope, and we attach that person to that can, and we bring him in. Well, anyway, we were going back and forth, and the last one was coming in. We thought we had everybody in the water, and this lady comes up to me, and again, this is low tide, so I'm out in the waterways, but I'm only up to my knees at this point. And she's like, "My son is missing. My 6-year-old son is missing." She's flipping out. He's out there. He's drowned. You know. So I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then I said, "You sure he's not on the beach?" And the father, I guess it was the father, says, "No, we don't see him." You know. So Troy comes up to me, which is he's the assistant captain. He goes, "What's up, Mike?" I go, "Well, I don't want to ruin your day, but ruin anybody's day. But this kid, she's saying his kid's missing." So he's like, "Holy shit!" And I go, "I think we got everybody in, you know." And there's one more person out there that the other lifeguard had, and I look, and it wasn't a 6-year-old kid. It was some older guy. So about a minute goes by, which is forever.
The longest minute of your life.
And it was pretty bad. But
it's tough. It's like, because no matter how confident you are that you did the rescue, that you've checked all the boxes, when a parent comes up to you in a panic like that, you can't help but question yourself. Yeah,
well, you can't show anybody that you are questioning yourself.
But like in your head, you're like,
well,
oh my God, now I'm like retracing my steps. Did I get everyone?
Well, I tell you what I started thinking. I started thinking, okay, what's the next move? Do we start putting lifeguards out there looking for the body? Looking for try to escalate, call the Coast Guard, the whole thing, fire rescue. And that's all going through my mind, and within 10 seconds, right off the bat, what's the next move? But they did find a kid on the beach, and so that was a sigh of relief. And so I left. I went to the hospital. Of course, I'm a physician there, and
did one of your boys do the operation? Or?
Yeah. My good. Well, we were partners. He's it is funny because I've been operating that hospital for almost 30 years. I've probably done, thousands of operations, and I've never been on the other side. And it was like being in a movie. Because,
That was the first surgery you ever had?
Yeah. I have
What?
colonoscopies. I had dental work. I've never had any surgery. I've never had a, no.
Really? I've
No.
had...
No, it's
I've
my first.
had... Let me think. 2.
Huh?
I have a screw in my wrist right here.
Yeah.
You can see that scar?
Yeah.
Where's my camera?
Right there.
A little scar on my wrist right there. It's probably hard to see.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to see. But you
Yeah,
can
but
see a
that
little bit.
was my, the scaphoid bone.
Oh, yeah.
So the reason I had to get that operated on, because apparently that's like the slowest healing bone in your body.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, like a break in your the ones in your hand, the metacarpals or tarsals.
Yeah, there's a lot of bones that take slow time.
Metacarpals, it's like 8 weeks. This is like 12, 15 weeks.
Yeah.
I had that, and then I had my I had like 3rd degree AC joint separation.
Oh, that's right. They had to operate on that, right?
Yeah, I had.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
I had.
That was a bad one.
Gotten into a bit of an altercation, I guess you could call it, but I ended up getting tackled, and the guy just blew right through it and just.
So you had an operation.
Yeah, and like, so I think there's like 4 degrees of AC joint separation.
Yeah.
The 4th is like. There's like 4 or 5 ligaments holding it together. The 4th is every ligament's completely blown out.
Yeah.
Mine was as on the edge of 3 and 4 as possible. Like that last ligament was holding on by.
So they operate on it. What did they do? They had to do repair.
Yeah, they had to reconstruct it. It feels like there's some sort of screw or something in there.
You don't remember,
But I don't know.
Well,
I've never seen an X-ray of it.
Well,
so.
my thing is
hurt like a bitch though.
My thing is that going through the process, you're in the bed there. They give you an IV, and then they wheel you down the hallway, and you get into the operating room. I tell you what, it was interesting. Once they knock you out, you don't feel anything. I woke up, I actually didn't have any pain. It was that night when, man. So anyway, so that's that. It still bothers me. It doesn't hurt at night, but like right now, I can't do certain movements. It's so I'm hoping the plate, when it comes out, I could get some rehab. I'm going to get a CAT scan next week to make sure that that the bone is healed. So anyway, that's what was going on there. So what you wanted to ask me about is another story, another rescue. So
This is after your injury. You've already had your surgery, but you're still recovering now, right?
Right. So I'm coming down from I went on a vacation to there's our picture, here's our place. Went on a vacation to Nova Scotia. Not a vacation, but we have friends up there. They're a charter boat captain and his wife, and I've known them for many years. We sail with them down there. That's where I used to work as a doctor, visiting doctor in British Virgin Islands. So then they have a house in Nova Scotia. They're Canadian, and we go up there, and so this is 4 weeks post-op, and I have my hand. I'm thinking of sling. I'm sleeping, sitting up. It still hurts and everything. You can't lay down. So we get back, and that was that. So that was October 6th. Right now, all the stuff that's going on. That's right around that time when the Israeli had the what do you call it? That invasion. That was a holiday, and in New Jersey, I don't know if people know, but we have like one of the biggest Jewish communities in the United States. It's in Lakewood.
No, it's the most densely populated Jewish community outside of Israel.
Right.
In Lakewood.
Right. So and the beach is called Spring Lake. So I go down there to take a walk. We fly in early in the morning. And it was a beautiful day. It was probably 80 degrees. The water was warm. And so I'm going to go for a walk on the boardwalk. I'm still walking. I'm working out, And I get there, and there's hundreds of people in the water, mostly Hasidic Jews. How do I know? Because they're all dressed up in their garb, and the people are in the water swimming. And most of them, especially the young kids, they all have clothes on. They wear their whatever they wear, whatever they call it. So and that's not the first time I've seen it. So I'm not really thinking anything, but I always there's no lifeguards, And the water up in Spring Lake, people don't realize is that even when it's calm, they have really bad rip currents because of the jetties. The jetties are ridiculous, and these are rocks that go out. Okay, so I walking down, and the street that where this all went down, is called Essex, and I'm walking. I'm talking on the phone actually to somebody, maybe in my office, and there's about 4, 5, 6 girls or kids swimming in next to the jetty. Jetty's about 25 yards long, and you can see the run is cooking out, and then it goes north a little bit. And I'm watching these kids swim. They're getting sucked out. They're not getting in. They go out to the end of the run, which is about 25 yards. They go north a little bit because the run brings them that way. Then they start swimming, and they get onto the bar. And then they walk through the bar, and they get in the gully, and then they get sucked back out into the run again.
God.
So I'm watching this circle, right? And it was amazing to me. First, when I looked at it, I didn't think anything. I didn't think they were in trouble. I thought, well, they probably get in. Like one would get in, but the others wouldn't, and it was going around and around. So now I'm watching it, and I can see they're starting to struggle. Especially this one girl. And so I walked down on the beach. No surfers, no boogie boards, because the waves weren't that big, but the run was enough. And
I guess that's kind of like when you have jetties like that. That's kind of the trade-off, right? Like the rip currents are going to be much more predictable. You can kind of count on them being on one side or the other. However, they're always going to be there. They're always going to be pumping strong.
Yeah. There was some ocean. I mean, enough. There was some surfers, but it was kind of like later on. I'll finish the story. So anyway, I go down, and specifically these 2 girls, and the one girl, they were struggling. They were young kids. They were probably 12, 13, 14. So they had a lot of gas, and so I go down, and there's a lady there. I go, listen, call 911. I had my phone with me, but I was taking, I was putting all my stuff down, and I said, go call 911. These people are not getting in. She's like, are you sure? I go, listen, I'm a lifeguard. Off duty. Trust me when I tell you, then I get it. So she calls 911. And now I'm looking around, and so the girl, so I start yelling at them because they're out far enough. I'm like, swim this way, swim. I'm trying to tell them, go over to the sandbar. You can't see the sandbar because it was about chest deep, so it wasn't real obvious that there was a sandbar there, but I could see because of the girls, they were going north and they were standing. So, just trying to remember exactly. Anyway, the one girl starts to just fatigue, and she starts yelling for help, and she's starting to swim up, straight up. Her girlfriend's there trying to help her, but she's struggling too. So it starts to turn into a shit show. Now, I got my hand in a sling. I don't really want to go out. I don't have a flotation device. So there's a guy standing there, a young guy, and he kind of figures something's going on. It wasn't that young. I would say he's probably in his, late 20s, early 30s. I said, can you swim? He goes, yeah. He had a pair of shorts on. I don't know what, maybe he was in the water. I said, can you go out there and help her? She needs some help, So he goes out there, and I don't remember exactly. All I know is next thing I know, I look at him. He was like shit scared. He came flying in. He was like crawling out of the water. He almost drowned. So he was done. He just bolted after that.
So he didn't get to them?
Yeah, he did. He helped her a little bit, which was good. But he started to fatigue too.
Now, as you're watching this, are you like, shit, man, I just put this guy in danger?
Yeah. I'm like, I hope I didn't kill him. No, I did. It's so funny you say that because that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, I should, So now I'm standing there, and she starts again screaming, help me, and she's going. The water's about up to her. I can see she's got not too much more, and she's right near the jetty. So I go in. Now I'm I got one arm like this.
Are you still slinged up, or?
No, I took the sling off. So I'm floating out there. I get out there, and I grab her, and it's amazing. She was pretty good. I held her up, and I'm trying to tread water. And I don't, again, your adrenaline's going. I'm trying to remember, but I tried to get them to swim in, swim over, and they were done. So now I'm sitting there holding her. And the other girl was pretty cool. If she was in trouble, she wasn't, making it. But this one was done. She couldn't breathe. I can't breathe. Maybe she had asthma or something. So I was going to throw her on the rocks.
That's what I was just about to ask. Was there any thought like, hey, let's just get up onto the jetty and then deal with it?
Because I can't. I'm having a hard enough time keeping myself up. I'm trying to float, and I got my one arm. I don't want to move it really a lot. So I was going to, at that point, I was thinking either just bag this and save myself, which I wasn't going to do. When I turned to my side, I saw the jetty, Now, in the meantime, there's a crowd of people. So while I'm there, okay, and I'm on my last ounce of I'm hurting now. I'm hurting, you know. I mean, I'm like trying to hold her up, and I'm going down, and you know, and I see these two guys come out, right, and they're not swimming; they're floating towards me. They got white shirts on. They were older guys, and they had a yellow can with like this white line attached to it. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you don't think about it, and he floats out to me. And he goes, all right, calm down. I'm here to save you. I go, listen, give me that friggin' can. So I grabbed the can, and I, you know, corral the two girls, and I said, listen, I'm a lifeguard. He goes, oh, great. And he goes, let me pull you over to the sandbar. So, you know, so he swims us over to the sandbar, and, you know, I help, and so now we're standing up, but about chest deep water, right? At this time, there's the other girls are screaming for help. Other people who went in the water are screaming for help. I mean, you know, I would never have gotten to this point, you know. So he takes off, takes the can, leaves me there. Okay, now I got the two girls. Okay, now, so I start getting them in. We hit the gully. She goes right down. Now I'm struggling again. At least I'm closer in now.
He took the can and left?
Yeah, because other people were drowning.
Oh. Okay.
There was like 6, 7 other people. Now, what happened was because those other girls, you know, they cycled back. They were on the bar, and they got back in the gully. Mm-hmm. You understand what was happening? It was just like rotation. And then other people jumped in. I guess they saw me, and they went in. Now they're drowning.
Bar, gully, rip, bar,
right, so
gully.
now I'm bringing them in. We get caught in the gully again, and we're getting sucked back into the run. But I just powered it, man. I got him in. She was going down again, and she starts screaming. The mother comes up to me. I was like, all right. So now I'm done. You know, I mean, I got on the beach. I was like, man, I was hurting myself, you know. I go to my stuff and everything. In the meantime, there's police, there's fire, right? The lifeguards from Seagirt come down because they weren't working, but they were doing maintenance. The drone is flying. It took another, I would say, easy 10 minutes because there was no ropes, and now they had to save everybody who was floating out there. So nobody was drowning, but there was just a bunch of people floating because, like, there's the one guy who came out with me, one of them, he was a, kind of big police officer. Somebody gave him this flimsy boogie board.
Like one of those.
It's like the cheapest shit, and he's like, it's gyrating like this, and they're trying to bring him in. So without a rope, it's real hard. So they were struggling to bring everybody in. And it's on drone. There's drone footage of it. It went on the national, the local news. In fact, Mike Jacobus, one of the lifeguards, sent me the video. So anyway, I talked to the cops and all that, and they took the girl to the ambulance and they took her away. She was okay, So that was the end of that. Probably 6, 7 girls and probably 6, 7 people, citizens. I finished my walk. So I go on the boardwalk. I walk another like 2 miles, 3 miles, come back. While I'm coming back, now in the meantime, let me add to the story. I talked to Tim Hartman, who's the chief of Seagirt, and I text him, and he came down after I left, and we talked about it. And so now I go back, and after I'm done walking, I hear the sirens go again. Now, as I was walking back, there was tons of people in the water. And what cracks me up is the cops, nobody did anything. They just, everybody just didn't do anything after that big rescue. As I get back to my truck, I hear the sirens. I go up on the boardwalk. I see the lifeguards go shooting down on the ATV. 2 more male ascetics were in trouble, and one had to go to the hospital. They saved them, but, it was a close call. So that was a crazy, crazy, crazy day.
Yeah, and, I don't know if you clarified, but the girls that you were helping out, were they wearing like the long skirts?
Yes, everything, all fully clothed, fully clothed. Yeah.
Oh, obviously, this goes without saying. Like, everyone has their own right to express themselves and wear whatever, they feel is necessary or their religion deems necessary. However, to go into the water wearing so much clothes, or for lack of a better term, that's I would strongly advise against that. No matter what your religious beliefs are, going in the ocean wearing a long skirt, wearing pants, wearing a shirt, it's going to make swimming harder.
Here's what I would say: if you,
It can get caught up over your face like
all
this.
right, well, no,
You'll waterboard yourself.
they have special clothes that are made, for swimming. Here's what I would say though: I would refine that a little bit, and I would say this: if you're going to go in the water and you have religious, your religion mandates that you cover, which is fine. I appreciate that. Then go in where lifeguards are, because like you said,
well, that's another thing that goes without saying,
if you get in trouble, it's a lot harder to save yourself with clothes on, because it does weight you down. So don't go out, but don't go in the water. You shouldn't go in the water at all unless there's lifeguards there. That's number one. Mm-hmm. Number two is, if you're going to wear any kind of clothes, then no. And you make
and that goes for the people that I see coming down on the beach in the middle of the summer. Pasty has this mouse right here, like completely, and
right.
And they have cargo shorts on and like a big baggy t-shirt.
You make a good point, because I would say, this is a guess, but I would say 30 to 40% of the people in the water on a weekend in Seaside Heights have clothes on. They don't have bathing suits on. They have shirts and shorts. And
big long basketball shorts.
Well, I'll make a good point. So I had a guy. This is another great story. So this was that Monday when I broke my collarbone. I was pulling people out all day. They were going out. We were yelling at them. Not yelling at them. But we said, listen, it's red flag. It's knee deep, ankle knee deep. And there was this couple. They were probably in their 40s. And I went down in the water, because I was going back up and down the beach on the ATV, just going in the water and pulling people out. I mean, before they got in trouble. They were getting in trouble. Mm-hmm. So there was one couple, and I get them in, and she was a little bit argumentative, definitely disrespectful, and obtuse.
You love that word.
Yeah, I love it. But, I was very nice, diplomatic. I said, listen, it's dangerous. You got to be careful, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, 2 hours later, she's drowning. I come up, and so now, so I grab her, I pull her in. Now, again, she didn't have, I don't know what she was wearing, but her boyfriend or husband had cargo shorts down to his knees, big pockets. Mm-hmm. He had some kind of like stupid shirt on. And I said to him, I said, that's it. You guys are done. You're out of the water. And I said, give me, and they have bands on. So we have, everybody has a band. This is how you buy it. It's $10. You buy a band, and we know that you paid. And so I said, take your bands off. You're done for the day. And they started cursing at me, telling me, go scratch and everything. So I back off, and I get on the radio. I said, they need the police down here. Well, the police, they were so busy with the same shit. They were throwing, police were they would get there eventually. Mm-hmm. But they couldn't get there at that moment. So I said, okay. So I said to myself, let me go back and just try to persuade them. I said, listen, guys, the police are on their way, and which was true. And I said,
in a sense,
it
was almost true.
And I said, listen, take your bands off. So the one guy goes, you're a pervert. There's something wrong with you. Are you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, why do you want me to take my pants off? And the lady there's people all around us, right? Because we're on the beach, right? It's packed. She goes, you drunk dumbass. She says, you're banned, not your pants. And at that point, I realized how drunk they were. And anyway, they took them off. They threw them on the ground, and they left. And it was like kumbaya. But this is yeah, I know. Like, have a nice day. But it was, but the clothes was amazing. So that's something. That's a new trend. Maybe people have body image issues. I don't know, but I pulled a guy out who had a collar shirt, a button-down collar shirt, and shorts. I think they don't. I guess maybe they come down. They want to go in the water. They don't think about bathing suits. I mean, maybe.
Well, and like I said, it's not like. When we talk about this, it's not coming from like a position of we're judging your fashion choices in the water. But really, like when you do this for so long, when you're a lifeguard for so long, you kind of start to look at everything through like a risk management kind of safety perspective. And when you see that, you already know like that might be something I have to deal with today.
Yeah. No.
You know, so I got to get going.
Okay, listen, I want to give a shout out. Let's finish up. I'll just real quick, a shout out to the Fort Lauderdale Lifeguards. I was down there. They showed me unbelievable hospitality. I met one guy, I think is Luis. Both these guys were from Cuba. One guy was like a dive master. The other one, I forget, did sea rescue stuff. The guys were really, sharp. They're I love them. They were in their 50s, and we were talking about, they said not this summer, last winter, it was really bad. They had a rough season. And, they got those towers and everything. So I want to give a shout out. I met, like I said, one of the lieutenants. His name is Wolf, Lieutenant Wolf. He's like 70-something years old. He's been there. He knew Eric Jerstead, which is one of our lifeguards.
We got to get this guy on the show.
So Eric Jerstead, which is his name, he was a legend down there. And we had lifeguards who worked down there. Steve Noose is one, and Ricky Hatrack. They worked down there. That was a very common thing. You'd have lifeguards from like Asbury, Seaside, other beaches go down there for the winter. In fact, we used to go down to Hollywood and compete in their tournaments at the winter time.
John Mesco was telling us about some of that. How they get a lot of Jersey guys. Where's he work?
Well, I know one of our goes, Keys. His name is He's in San Diego, but the Florida beaches. But anyway, I want to give a shout out. I got a sticker over here for Fort Lauderdale. I love that beach there and those lifeguards. Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale, Miami. We got our buddy in Miami, and so that's a strong lifeguard organization down there. So anyway. What are we anything else we want to talk about? We're done. Let me just get
we're back. We're back. It's been a little bit, but we're back. We're not going anywhere. I got some videos from Italy I'd like to share. So maybe next time I can show some of that.
All right, we definitely listen. We
were me and Marissa, my girlfriend. We went to Italy. Did like 10 days. We were swimming in what is it? We were in Positano. Right, and I had my GoPro. We were like getting all what we thought were cool underwater videos.
Nothing came out.
There's this one video we got where I was like, all right, I'm gonna dive underwater and swim underwater, and as I go, like you go from 10 yards away, film me, and I'll swim towards you. And we took the video. We're like, that's gonna look really cool, and then we uploaded it to the computer. It is one of the funniest.
Oh, it is. All right, good. All right, well, listen, let's get it. Anyway, listen, thank you, everyone. This has been Lifeguards Off Duty with Dr. Michael Katchmar.
And it's not just Dr. Mike. Come on.
Okay, and Tyler.
And Sean, hopefully Sean will be back, too.
All right, listen, follow us and go on YouTube, subscribe, follow us, give us a call. We have here, you want to send us an email, drkatchmar@icloud.com. If you want to come on the show, we'd love to have people on the show. And that's drkatchmar@icloud.com. Or hit us on Instagram. Just try to get a hold of us. We're back on the swing of things. All right.
Heck yeah.
Take care. Good night. See you next week.